truth is not known by bias, but by reason and logic. In a world filled with ideas and beliefs, the search for truth remains the duty of every thinking mind. Here, we open the doors to calm scientific dialogue, far from fanaticism and intellectual rigidity. Let's explore comparative religions in an objective manner based on evidence and in-depth analysis. Our goal: to reach a correct understanding, free from distortion and misinterpretation. Our approach: to research fairly and present facts without preconceived assumptions. Our message: science and knowledge transcend affiliations, and dialogue is stronger than conflict. Subscribe now and be part of the journey of discovering the truth.
The roots of beliefs. Religious belief is deeply rooted in human nature, psychologically, socially, and historically. Therefore, one must consciously comprehend the profound relationship between individuals and their faith, its unique characteristics, and the influence of the surrounding environment. The family in which a person is raised imposes its beliefs upon them, whether true or false, passing down inherited traditions from parents, ancestors, and society at large. This legacy is received as an inheritance, shaping one's faith through familial customs and societal traditions. People perform rituals and religious practices, following in the footsteps of their ancestors. This creates an ideological framework within which the believer operates, often struggling to break free in pursuit of an alternative ideology that neither satisfies their intellect nor heart, making acceptance difficult. Beliefs are not easily extracted from the soul, nor can they be forcibly removed from the heart, for they become deeply ingrained and reside within the innermost being. Because faith is connected to the soul and spirit, persuasion and argumentation are only effective when the individual internally desires such change. Transformation does not happen suddenly. Rather, as Ibn Khaldun states in his Muqaddimah, when an entire system changes, it is as though the very nature of creation has changed at its core, and the entire world has been transformed, as if newly created. This principle applies to individuals, families, and societies alike. Religious scholars assert that divine religions, unlike man-made ones, possess specific characteristics, including constancy and resistance to change. They are not products of human societies. Rather, human beings are innately predisposed to certain fixed truths. This scientific analysis of human psychology aligns with the words of Allah in Surah Hud, verse 118. And if your Lord had willed, he could have made mankind one community, but they will not cease to differ. Similarly, in Surah Yusuf, verses 103, 106, and most of mankind will not believe, even if you desire it eagerly, and most of them do not believe in Allah, except while they associate others with Him. Faith, unlike other forms of knowledge and experience acquired throughout life, directly touches the soul and deeply embeds itself in one's being. Human nature does not easily succumb to external ideas that seek to replace long-standing beliefs instilled from childhood. Psychology does not consider it feasible for fundamental changes to occur in one's core convictions, as the human psyche takes its final shape within the first 5 years of life. The subconscious mind conceals and disguises itself, masking its true beliefs with outward behavioral reactions. It never fully reveals its secrets, even to its own bearer. When one attempts to examine their own deeply rooted beliefs, they often find them elusive, slipping away beneath layers of deceptive alternatives. Thus, the visible self and the hidden reality of the soul are as distinct as the body and the spirit that inhabits it. Those who treat human nature as something that can be forcibly penetrated misunderstand it entirely. The soul follows a predetermined course that cannot be altered by mere debate or argument. Allah states in Surah Yasin, verse 10, "It is the same for them whether you warn them or do not warn them. They will not believe." However, in rare instances, individuals with analytical minds and a sincere pursuit of truth rise above inherited influences, seeking knowledge for its own sake. These individuals return to their innate nature, confirming the words of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Every child is born upon the natural disposition, fitra. For such individuals, faith is not merely an emotional inheritance, but the result of irrefutable reasoning. They understand that the true essence of religion is for a person to attain the highest state of purity and righteousness, possessing a sound and upright heart. With keen intelligence, they grasp that all divine religions originate from the same source. They recognize that, at their core, these religions converge upon universal truths of righteousness and virtue without fundamental contradiction. The differences among them lie in quantity and quality, not in essence. Since the dawn of time, pure human nature has upheld justice and equality among people, both in religious and humanitarian brotherhood. Religions teach that mercy, kindness, and good conduct must prevail among all human beings. Discrimination based on creed, race, or color has no place in true religion. The only valid distinction is between those who conceal evil within themselves, causing harm, spreading discord, and corrupting the world, and those who embody harmony, love, and noble character, dedicating their knowledge and efforts to what benefits humanity. Can those who bring goodness to the world be equated with those who terrorize and spread destruction? Can a corrupt person be absolved by their religion if they spread evil? Therefore, we must turn to reason and the noble ethics upheld by all divine religions when engaging in discussions with those who differ in belief. In our discourse on the oneness of Allah, free from any traces of hidden or overt polytheism, we must derive wisdom through rational thought and address people in accordance with their intellectual capacities. The strength of minds varies. Some are powerful, others are weak. They succeed and err, but in all cases, we must be among those who reflect, reason, and comprehend. Regardless of the extent of a person's knowledge and the breadth of their intellectual horizons, they remain incapable of grasping the absolute truths in a comprehensive manner. They cannot perceive what the Creator intends for His creation. In this limitation, both the seeker of truth and the defender of falsehood are alike. This deficiency and lack of a broad, holistic perspective are particularly evident in comparative religious studies. Many such studies contain distortions in evidence and falsifications in argumentation. Each group claims divine favor over others, condemning one another while exalting themselves before their Creator, whether justly or unjustly. Mockery, belittlement, and the presumption of possessing absolute proof in religious disputes stem only from those deceived by a little knowledge, using it as a pretext for misguidance. Such individuals reject openness, preferring rigidity and dogmatism. This behavior also arises from a misunderstanding of divine scriptures, confusing the essence of religion with narrow, fanatic interpretations. This critique, though harsh, is not directed at any particular faith, but at all who exhibit religious fanaticism, regardless of their creed. Fanaticism has no place in true religion. It is merely the ugly face of religious belief when misused. Comparative religious studies should be conducted with impartiality, profound objectivity, and a panoramic perspective that reflects the holistic truth. These studies must highlight the core values, principles, and teachings of religions while absolving them of false attributions. The discussion should be free from emotional agitation and rigid perspectives, as such approaches often do more harm than good. Otherwise, religion, despite its noble essence and divine origin, risks becoming a mere subject of theological debate, unjustified by logic, unsupported by faith, and unacceptable to reason. Scientific research has no religion or nationality. Truth must impose itself upon every scholar. A researcher must be fair and objective, seeking truth as an enduring principle rather than distorting it to fit personal biases. We should live by the wisdom. Blessed is the one whose own faults preoccupy him from the faults of others. Let us view our own flaws with one eye and the virtues of others with the other. We should also adhere to the saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Shall I guide you to something that, if you do it, will foster love among you? Spread peace among yourselves. Likewise, we abide by the words of Allah in Surat Al-Ghashiyah, verses 21 to 22. So remind, O Muhammad, you are only a reminder. You are not over them a controller. And in Surat Qaf, verse 45, we are most knowing of what they say, and you are not over them a tyrant. But remind by the Quran whoever fears my warning. If we aspire to present Islam as a civilizational alternative, there must be scholars capable of articulating it in a contemporary manner, guided by a conscience free from bias, fanaticism, and emotional fervor. Intellectual shifts require calm scientific dialogue, deliberation, and wisdom, avoiding recklessness and hostility while showing compassion for those who remain ignorant of the truth. Recognizing Allah's oneness through theological discourse or any other academic discipline does not constitute complete knowledge, nor does it instill true inner peace. Such knowledge remains incomplete and fragmented when compared to Quranic knowledge. Quranic knowledge, however, grants a perpetual state of spiritual presence, turning everything into a mirror reflecting divine wisdom. It reveals that good deeds, preceded by faith in Allah and the Last Day, are the basis upon which all people, regardless of their religious affiliations, will be judged. Every person will receive their due reward, for Allah does not let the efforts of any righteous person go to waste. As Allah states in Surat An-Nahl, verse 93, and you will surely be questioned about what you used to do. And in Surat As-Safat, verse 39, and you will not be recompensed except for what you used to do. This is a divine decree, leaving no room for partiality or fanaticism. As Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, said, by Allah, if non-Arabs come forth with good deeds while we come forth with nothing, then they are more entitled to the Prophet Muhammad than us on the day of judgment. Thus, we must recognize that actions are the foundation of faith. We must abandon erroneous perceptions of religion and the misinterpretation of Quranic verses and prophetic traditions outside their intended contexts. The scholars of Hadith, when establishing their methodology, warned against those who pursue religious knowledge with ulterior motives. Imam Malik warned against learning from those who promote heretical innovations. Similarly, Francis Bacon, the pioneer of the scientific method, cautioned against falling into what he called the idols of the cave. Every person possesses their own intellectual cave, distorting reality and altering its natural clarity. This concept is evident when we examine ancient religions, where we see how religious authorities transformed original monotheistic beliefs into polytheism and atheism, introducing innovations never sanctioned by Allah.